Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy July. Woo woo.
Yes.
It's officially summer, guys. It was just the summer solstice the other day, as we were recording. I spent it at the beach, as I should.
Yeah. I spent it at my house. I kept thinking I should have done a summer solstice like ritual or something.
Yeah.
I didn't do one, but honestly, it's never too late. Like, we could still do one.
That's facts.
I think. So
we make up our own rules. So yeah, we can do whatever we want.
Like, we might still do it.
And we should.
Yeah. I think I thought about it a little bit too late, and then I didn't know what exactly to do for a summer solstice ritual. So,
yeah,
we'll find something.
Every time that it's the summer solstice, the only thing that I can think about is Little Bear. Did you ever watch that show?
Yes, but what?
Well, that was just my favorite episode.
I'm trying to remember an episode of that.
I mean, it was literally called Summer Solstice, and I don't know why, but that was just like my favorite episode when I was little.
Oh,
so
okay. What'd they do in it? You don't remember?
They had like a summer solstice party.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
And it's just vibes. Like, that's what I want to do. So,
yeah.
I guess that's why I liked it.
Yeah, that was such a cute show and like very comforting.
Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
Anyway.
Actually, I remember I had, or maybe I didn't have one, but my brother and sister both had a little bear, like stuffed bear.
No way. Yeah. Oh my god, what? That's so cool.
Now I'm thinking of it. I think they both had one. I didn't. But maybe I think I got Blue's Clues, so they got Little Bear.
Tea. I didn't even realize that they had bears, and now I want a little bear.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cute.
Interesting.
Yeah. But anyway,
over the weekend, I saw Rainbow Kitten Surprise in concert.
Wow. How were they?
Oh my god. In the same way that if Tame Impala is ever in your town, you have to go. If Rainbow Kitten Surprise is in the town, you have to go. It doesn't matter if you know their songs. It literally doesn't matter.
Maybe
the light show, the vibes, the music. Oh, it was incredible. It was incredible.
Wow.
Like, the only problem was that it was really hot. If you're not aware, we live in the South and we are currently in a heat wave.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I think today may be the last day of this heat wave, though, because it's supposed to start raining tomorrow.
Please.
And then it's just going to rain the rest of the week. So, but it will cool it down.
No, I would rather it be hot because it's been raining for eternity, it feels like.
I know. It has.
I just want a pretty day.
I know.
But I don't want it to be 105. Is that too much to ask for? How about 80s? Cloudy.
We'll get it.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day. What'd you do over the weekend?
I honestly had the most like boring weekend. I did pretty much nothing. I
love a boring weekend.
Okay. I did some yard work for like 2 hours on Saturday, and it made me sore for the entire rest of the weekend.
Feel that.
So
feel that.
Because like I don't even know if it was 2 or 3 hours that I was just like at labor work.
No, seriously, if you don't know, yard work is so much harder than it looks.
Yes, and
it's so much harder.
It always hits me afterwards, because while I'm doing it, I'm like, yeah, I can do this, and then afterwards, I feel horrible. So that was kind of my weekend, and I'm honestly still struggling from it.
Yeah, I went to the beach, and I'm still struggling because I have not stopped even once since I got back.
Yeah, that is a lot.
And I just really need to sleep.
Yeah.
But I'll sleep eventually. You know, they say sleep when you're dead. I guess that's when I will.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fine.
Listen.
It's fine.
It's good to do things.
Yeah, it is. And it's really fun. I'm trying to think of what else I did. I mean, I went shopping. Just a little.
We do have an update for everyone, though.
Oh, yeah. What's the update?
We finally watched Megan.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. We watched Megan. Well, I had already seen Megan, but Savannah watched Megan.
Yes. So, okay, this is also... I'm going to plug in a little support your libraries. Facts. Because we were talking, actually, I think it was last week when we were recording the episode last week. we were talking about how Megan 2 is coming out, and I hadn't seen the first one, so obviously we had to see it. And the only platform it's on for streaming is like you have to pay for it on Prime or something. And
even if you have a Prime account, you have to pay for it on Prime,
which is a ripoff.
Scam.
So I was like, okay, the library has DVDs. So I looked up, and they had like 6 or 7 different DVDs of Megan, literally, just available to rent for free. So
for an entire week.
Yeah. So we rented it from the library.
Had a movie night.
So if you're if you're looking for a movie like that, they also have like DVD sets of TV shows too.
Mm-hmm. And they also, at least they used to, have games like Xbox and PlayStation games. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I mean that definitely differs from
library to library, for sure. But check it out. You never know what they have.
Yeah, you never know what they have.
I love a library.
And listen, don't let Amazon scam you out of your money.
Don't pay them $5.
Just get it on DVD.
Do not pay. The library. Jeffrey doesn't need no $5.
Yeah,
I know he doesn't own it anymore, but still.
If you need to buy something, buy a DVD player, and then there you go.
Facts. All PSA, if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation that has a disc drive, you already have a DVD player. Mm-hmm. I learned that recently.
Yeah.
So PSA to the people who don't know.
Yeah, because we used an Xbox. So
yeah.
But okay, but anyway.
Wait, you have to rate Megan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, library aside, the movie was, I loved Megan. Okay.
Chat, I have been trying to get Savannah to watch Megan for literally years.
Okay, but the issue was like it wasn't on streaming or anything, and then we found it.
It used to be on streaming, right, well. but no, it's true. Savannah gave it a chance.
And
she loved it.
I wanna
give
it too. An 8.5 out of 10. I think.
Yeah, I would say the same. I love it. It's so campy. I love campy horror. That's just done so well. And Megan 2.0 comes out this weekend, so we will have an update for you next week because we got to see it.
Also, we ended that movie. I ended Megan thinking they brought her back. Like, why is there a Megan 2.0?
Right, not spoilers, but if you've seen Megan, the first one, you know how it ends.
And you're like, what? But then seeing the trailer for the new one, I'm like, okay, I guess I get it, but... Yeah.
And then today, like as of today that we are recording, they are releasing like interviews with this Megan robot. Guys, it is so funny. It's so funny. You would think that we're sponsored by Megan. We're not. But Megan sponsor us because we absolutely love you. And my 3-year-old niece dressed up as Megan for Halloween last year. So
love it.
I love it. Love Megan. Mm-hmm. Did we go see any movies, though? I know we saw Megan, but, like, we didn't see any, did we?
No.
No. We went and saw the Screen Unseen last time. That was the last one. Yeah. Megan was the movie last week, so how fun. How fun. I feel like I had something else, but now I just cannot remember what it is at all. Okay. My brain is empty, so you know what that means, don't you?
Time for the tarot.
Time for the tarot. I had a really good idea driving over here, actually.
Okay.
Should I shuffle or do you want to?
You can shuffle.
Okay, here you go. My idea is, instead of reading out of that book, like, what if because as I've been saying, I want to, actually truly learn the meaning of these cards and stuff. And so I'm like, what if I make a little book in my own words of, like, what these things mean? And, like, it can be cute and I can, like, read from it instead of that little book.
That would be
This is me holding myself accountable.
Yeah.
So, anyway, putting the intention into these cards. And here is some tarot ASMR for you.
Wow.
Oh, kind of messed that one up a little bit, but we'll get around to. I have been seeing a lot more tarot card stuff coming up on my TikTok too.
Oh my gosh, I see it all the time.
It like ebbs and flows for me, but at least recently it's been a lot. So I'm like, okay, this is my sign to really get into it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Here we go.
So what's the intention? What is this going to tell us?
I was thinking about this coming week.
Okay.
So.
All right.
This is what it's going to be.
Let's see.
We have the 8 of Wands reversed.
Okay. Why are they always reversed?
It's just how the cards come out.
All right. Let's just start with what the wands.
Okay.
Like the suit of wands is.
Mm-hmm.
So the suit of wands mirror your consciousness and gives you insight into the core of what you are, both external and internal. They urge you to take action in situations that arise in your life. So, the 8 of Wands reversed, it is telling us.
What's it telling us?
So, they're urging us to take action in situations that arise in our life, right? But apparently, the situations that arise may be frustrating. Because it's frustration, delay, mistakes, and confusion. So I'm guessing maybe... See, this really does kind of speak to me in a way because, it's just saying when you're too stressed out over something, you get frustrated, you make mistakes, you get confused. So maybe it's just telling us to take a step back. Maybe it is telling us positive.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
This week,
So then you don't end up frustrated and making mistakes.
Yeah, this is your sign right now. We're going to have an easy week.
That? Yeah.
We're going to take it easy, as the people would say.
Yes.
I live by that line. So
don't let the frustration take hold of you.
Absolutely not. Love that for the tarot of the week. If you don't mind, please go rate and review us on Apple Podcast and Spotify. But if you want to get into your story, Savannah.
All right, let's get into it. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Eloise Asylum.
Ooh, okay. Eloise reminds me of that little movie, that little girl.
I know, it does, yeah. And I will tell you why it's called that. There's a whole kind of reason why.
Exciting.
It's named Eloise, and we've done a few different asylums on here.
Totally.
And I'm kind of surprised that we haven't done this one because this is a huge asylum.
Oh, tea. There's a lot of asylums, honestly. We haven't covered like too many of them. So crazy.
So this one is in Wayne County, Michigan. And I believe it's close to like Detroit area. And it operated from 1839 to 1982.
That's a long time.
Yeah. It started off, so it's actually so old that it started out as a poorhouse.
Great, yeah.
Which I guess you could equate a poorhouse to a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
But there are differences because nowadays a homeless shelter I'm going to say it's definitely not the same as a poorhouse because these poorhouses, they were like getting these people to work.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think...
No, you don't have to work
at a homeless shelter.
No, I don't think so either.
So that, I mean, for that reason alone, I'll just keep calling it a poorhouse because that's what it is. There is a difference. So it was a poorhouse and a farm, and it later developed into an asylum, a sanatorium, and then a hospital. So the Wayne County Poorhouse, it in 1839, actually taking back even farther, 1832, the first poorhouse was in Wayne County, and then a second one was created by the city in 1839, and they were gonna like replace it with this new one.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, but getting into sort of what this poorhouse was, mental illness was not fully understood at the time, and many people could not work due to their illness and were left poor. So
yeah, so sad.
They had to have somewhere to live. This house, it provided food and shelter, but no real medical treatment for any of their mental conditions or just any of their health conditions. And people who lived in the poorhouse were actually they were referred to as inmates.
Bro. Are you
Love
actually
that.
kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. So, I mean,
That's
it's not
horrible.
like they're,
they're not in a hospital. They're in a prison, essentially.
Yeah. In a way, but I feel like they're not, it's not like they can't leave. Like, they could leave.
Can they leave?
But do they have anywhere else to go is the thing.
But, like, essentially they kind of can't leave. I mean, like, theoretically they could, but, like...
more than you could in a prison.
Well...
Because in a prison you really can't leave.
Yeah, well,
but
okay. Yeah.
Here, you could, but... Mm-hmm. But they're still called inmates, which
That's terrible.
So, yeah, and as I said before, they did have to work. They did some manual labor around the house and on the farm. And as I sort of just explained, the poorhouse, it was already in the area, but they're like, the city wanted to make this like a bigger poorhouse and like have a bigger plot of land. So they bought a plot of land in 1839 to build the second one, and this second one was kind of in the woods.
Good.
And
good
in the middle of nowhere almost.
That's so scary.
And the people from this first house were supposed to be transferred out there to this new one. And so 146 people lived in the first one, but only 35 agreed to be transferred. The rest of them were like, I'm not going there.
Listen, I'm not going out in the middle of the woods either.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, this is my house.
So yeah, like only 35 people went.
So they'd never, did they close down the first one? Or were they planning on
it? Yeah, they were planning on closing the first one. So I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah.
So yeah, started out with these 35 people.
Dang.
But getting into, just side note here, why is it called Eloise?
I have no idea. My guess, that little girl from the hotel in that movie.
Yeah, that definitely came first.
Right.
In the 1800s.
Right.
So it was called Eloise because, listen, this gets kind of complicated in like, it was named after the post office. But it's like, okay, why was the post office named Eloise,
Yeah. No, I was like, I have no idea.
All right. So this is going to be like a side tangent, but we're going to I just thought it was interesting.
We're locking in for the side story.
So the name was used because the local post office was named Eloise, right? And this name was also applied to the railroad depot and the American Express Company and like a few other things around town. So it's like, okay, it's almost like they're naming it after, it's like in current day you would just name it after the town, but they named it Eloise, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the reason for this, even before the hospital was named it, in 1894 the area requested a post office at the county house, and the postmaster general, he approved a post office, but he established that the new post offices, they would have short names and they could not resemble closely to like any other post office like within the state. So they would just like come up with like one word things or like actual names of people,
Yeah.
So the president of the board, who was gonna like name this post office, or like was in charge of this post office, Freeman Dickerson, he had a daughter, his only living child, and her name was Eloise. So it was named Eloise after this man's daughter.
Okay, that's crazy.
I know, it's just like, I went down this rabbit hole. I was like, what?
Like,
trying to wrap my head around this. They're like, okay, we need a name, and he's like, wait, my daughter's named Eloise, so let's name it after her.
No, yeah. And if you didn't tell me that, I would have been so mad, because I would have been like, no, why? I have to know why it's called Eloise. But that's so stupid. I'm sorry to that man, and I'm sorry to Eloise. But like, we didn't have to name it Eloise.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's cute.
It's cute, and it's just wild to me that it's like the post office was named that first, and then other things in the area like the railroad and other things like, and then okay, yeah, let's name the hospital that too. It's like what?
Yeah, that's wild.
So anyway, let's take it back to the hospital because I just felt like I needed to dive down there.
Yeah, I had to know about Eloise.
So this hospital in its prime, which was in the 1930s actually, during the Great Depression, it had 78 buildings.
Dang. God, this place is huge. You were not even kidding.
I told you. And it was 902 acres.
This is like a compound.
Yes.
That's crazy.
You know, I'm guessing as when it first started out as like the poorhouse, it was not as big.
I fear
definitely
for the story.
Got bigger over time.
I fear for the rest of the story, knowing how big this is now.
Yeah. So most of the story, you know, I was talking about the 1800s in the beginning, but we're sort of shifting to our focus to like the 1930s.
Yeah.
So during this time, there were like 10,000 patients at its prime.
Jeez Louise.
And
Eloise.
Yes. And 2,000 staff. Which, is that enough?
Honey, no, you said 10,000?
Yeah.
Baby, that's like 500 patients for one person. Yeah. That ain't enough. I'm not sure if that's math.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if it's not math. That's not my specialty. But I think it might be. But just don't quote me on it. We'll just go. We're going to say yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's either 50 or 500. Regardless, neither one's good.
Yeah. And this actually was, at the time, the largest psychiatric facility in the U.S.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which is why I'm like, why have we not heard of this?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's haunted. So
oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I don't know. Michigan's far. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe. So this place, it gets even crazier because it was self-sufficient, basically. It was like its own little town.
I mean, yeah. That's what it sounds like.
It had its own police, its own fire department, and like a railroad. And a trolley system.
A railroad is crazy. But I mean, honestly, I'm happy for them that they didn't have to walk all of that.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm guessing it's like a little, you know, shuttle back and forth. And it's on a train.
Yeah.
But that is just crazy. And they also, it doesn't stop there. They had a bakery, an amusement hall, a laundry facility, which obviously, post office.
Eloise?
So they had a post office within the... So is it Eloise within Eloise? I don't know.
It's Eloise squared?
Yeah. No, I think the post office probably calls them different, but...
Yeah. Lame.
And they also had a power plant.
What do you mean?
Because they produce their own power. They're literally self-sufficient.
Okay, is this a cult? No, I know it's not, but I'm just saying this is actually... I said it was a compound, but this is actually a compound.
No, it is. It is. Which... is cool, but also scary in so many ways.
It's cool if we didn't know what was gonna happen, you know? Like...
Yeah. So, and it also... So, I'm not even done. They also had a farm, which included dairy cattle, a piggery, which... I don't like that word. But
No.
That's what they put there, so... That's what we're using. Also, a root cellar.
Okay.
And, tobacco curing building. So they even had their own tobacco.
Wow, shout out.
They're
That's crazy.
Yeah. And a greenhouse.
Nice.
So they really
That's a lot.
Had it all.
That's a lot.
And okay. This was its own little city for them, basically.
Seriously.
And these patients that were at this facility, unfortunately, they did still have to work.
Yeah, I mean, who else was going to do all those jobs that you just listed?
No, that's actually so true. Because, yeah, they had 2,000 staff, but...
Honey, that's for the patients.
Some of the patients were the staff, too.
Yeah.
But I think part of it has to do with, like, they never sort of grew out of it from when it was the poorhouse.
Yeah, I was thinking
and
that,
they
too.
Were like,
they were like, yeah, no, it's still the poorhouse.
Mm-hmm.
You got to work.
Yeah. So they kind of, they would say that they thought manual labor was therapeutic.
I mean, they do still say that today in prison, which is why I'm also saying this place is like a prison. Because, no, they genuinely do.
Yeah.
I mean, and I do think, I'm not going to say that, like, maybe we shouldn't have had these people work, but, like, having something to do and having a schedule to follow does help,
yeah,
you know?
it does. Mm-hmm.
Like, in general.
Mm-hmm. And maybe it wasn't too bad. I don't really know.
Yeah.
And so this is its own little place, right? But also there was even more, because there was actually a fully functional hospital here too.
A hospital before it turned into a hospital?
So it's a psychiatric facility, but then also like there's a medical hospital.
Like one of their 78 million buildings is like a hospital. Okay.
It's one of them. And this hospital was actually a really, really good hospital in the area, and patients came from Detroit and like other local communities to have x-rays and like, you know, get procedures done. Which
that's crazy.
It's wild, because it's like on the grounds of like a...
Yeah, you're like, hey, I'm having that surgery on Thursday. What room are you gonna be in? Yeah, I'm in the asylum, room 101.
Yeah, I'm going down to Eloise Asylum. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, this place just like kind of amazes me in a way, like how big it was. It's so literally crazy. Its own city. And okay, looking at just the like hospital itself, this place was really great and like ahead of the times, because they housed the first kidney dialysis unit in the state of Michigan. They also pioneered music therapy.
No way. That's cool. So that is cool.
Yeah.
Because that is confirmed to work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's awesome.
And they also were a model of like scientific advancement in the medical field. So they would like just have new things that worked all the time, and like, you know, we're advancing.
That's cool.
The medical field. However,
I was just gonna say, I hope it wasn't at the expense of some of these people.
Well, see, there's like two sides of it, because there's like the medical side only, and then there's the psychiatric side. Because the mental health treatments were not as great. Because like, okay, if you really want to put it in the perspective, like, okay, maybe they were trying to do the best for their patients and they just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, I guess we could give them the benefit of the doubt with it.
I think we can say definitely at first they thought that they were helping. But then I think it comes to a point where maybe they knew.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. That's my personal opinion. But they definitely went into it with the thought of, we're trying to help these people.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and I'm not going to like point fingers at any specific doctors on here, but I do have like some of the treatments that were used. So they use shock therapy, which we know is bad. Yeah. We know that all of this is bad. So, patients were used kind of like as guinea pigs to test things out in the mental health field. Yeah. They treated people kind of as well as you would expect for the 1930s. And like really any time before, like now, people were treated bad in psychiatric places. Like lobotomies were performed.
Still even are today. So
shock therapy, lobotomies were performed. What was the other one? Like hydrotherapy, which is like drowning, right? Or is it not?
I mean, I think there's multiple different ways. One of them is also being like, put your whole body up, other than your neck and head, into like boiling hot water. My God.
Okay, no, thank you for that. But yeah, they would do that here. They did hydrotherapy. So. So, okay, just this whole mixture of things. There's definitely people who left this place and had a good experience, but not everyone. Okay. Yeah. So there's definitely some ghosts here that are like, you know, just reliving their bad times here, I guess.
Yeah.
Not very good. So in current day, the compound is not all there anymore. So I did say that it was closed in the 80s. The land has since been developed. It was 902 acres. So it's been broken up and developed into a strip mall, a golf course, condos.
Oh my god.
This was a whole, basically a city.
I know, but if you're not watching the video, I'm rolling my eyes so hard at this freaking strip mall that will not last like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
I know. So there is still one building that's still there.
One?
Well, there are a few buildings, but one in particular that's still there that people, like, you can go to.
Okay.
Building D. And it was used for psychiatric admissions.
Okay.
It housed over 400 patients, and it also had living quarters for some employees. It was later used, like, after it closed down, it was used as a county admin building until, like, 2016.
Oh, wow.
And now it's open for paranormal tours and is, like, an attraction.
We have to go to Michigan. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's basically, I was kind of confused at first. I had to, like, do some digging into, like, what this was. But when you look up Eloise Asylum, like, it's, like, basically one of those haunted attractions. Like, a typical...
Oh, like
this is
Halloween?
A haunted house. Kind of. Like, they do tours of the building, but they also have, like, people dressed up in scary costumes and stuff. I think maybe not all the time. Maybe there's different types of tours you can take.
Yeah. That's funny. You know, I will say so many times when I'm looking up stories for this podcast, I'll be like, you know, somewhere haunted, and it will almost every single time pull up just a haunted attraction.
Yes.
I'm like, chat, yeah. I don't want to go to a Halloween place. Like,
that's exactly what came up when I looked this up, and I was confused about it at first, but it is the actual building. One of the buildings, one of the many buildings.
Yeah.
So that's, like, if you look up, okay, like, this is the one you can go to, that's like the one that people go and visit and, like, have their you know, ghost interactions here in this building. But I mean, there were so many buildings
right
at one time. So honestly, I'm thinking there's condos on this property. Are the condos haunted?
I'm saying the strip mall.
Like, right, the mall. I don't know.
Anybody who lives near this area, if you're listening, or please, if somebody out there is living in one of these condos near Eloise Asylum, can you please let us know? Like, is there weird vibes? Anything spooky happen in your apartments?
Yeah, like,
we want to know.
I need to know.
Because it's almost like, I mean, if stuff is really happening in that one building that people can, you know, go and investigate, like, it has to be happening everywhere else too.
There are a few things that I can get into. I do want to just mention there's a few other buildings that are still there. The firehouse and the power plant are still there, but they're, like, abandoned. Yeah. Decaying. The bakery was still there, but it was actually damaged by arson in 2016.
That's so rude, guys.
And this one kills me. Because the cemetery is there.
No.
Because they had to have a cemetery. Oh. And the Eloise Cemetery, the graves, they're numbered, but there's no names.
Oh my god. That just depressed me so bad.
I know. It's bad.
Oh my gosh. I want to go put flowers on every single one. Are you absolutely kidding me? That's so rude.
I know.
Like, they had names. It's not like it's that hard to learn their name. Wow. So sad.
I'm guessing they were, like, on some sort of list that was maintained, but then it got lost, you know? Cause
or the arson, as we so often see. Horrible.
Yeah. Well, let's finally get into the ghosts here. So this whole place, you can just imagine what happens here just from listening to us talk about these other places all this time, but I'll tell you. So there are I'm obviously going to be talking about the D building that, you know, I mentioned before. So in this building there are 2 ghost children that have been seen running through the hallways, and they'll be, like, running through the hallways and then they turn a corner and disappear.
That's horrifying.
And it's said that they were inmates when it was a poorhouse.
That is so sad. That actually breaks my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope they have fun running down the halls at least. Or maybe they're like a residual and they're not actually there.
I know. I feel like a lot of these might be residual.
Mm-hmm. Good.
There's also a lady that appears as a white vapor, and she's been seen in the building. She's also, when people have seen her, they've also gotten a recording that's whispering, "Help me."
Oh my god, that's so heartbreaking.
That's really not great.
I feel like also we have to mention, like, we always have like a lady in white, a lady in black, a lady in red. We have the white vapor. That sounds like a superhero.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, wait. We should go as the white vapor and something else for Halloween. Like
the white vapor and the...
I have something in my story we could be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll save that. Just hold on for that one. Okay, a couple other ghosts. The ghost of a doctor walks down the halls. You know, he's just walking around trying to get to his next patient, I guess. Probably residual too.
Yeah.
Some people have seen a ghost drenched in water.
Oh.
A patient going through hydrotherapy.
No. God, no. That's horrible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, they're still wet.
Yeah, they're still wet from hydrotherapy. Which,
somebody
as we said before, it's like they're placed in water.
It's definitely like anything bad having to do with water.
Yes, and you're restrained too. It's not like you're doing this.
It's not like you're
willingly.
It's not like you're in one of those like calming, like, you know, you've seen those floating baths. No. You're like chained in, locked in. You can't move. Okay. You don't have a choice.
I feel like the first one you mentioned, that is actual hydrotherapy, right? Like that, I feel like would feel like therapy. That's just relaxing in water.
That's hydrotherapy 2025 version.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, reimagined.
Dang. Oh my gosh. Who ever thought something like that would work? Let's chain you down and put you in water.
Yeah. That'll make your mental feel better. For sure.
Another ghost. Well, actually, people say they've seen like multiple ghosts that are walking around with a smock stained with blood.
What?
Presumably from a lobotomy.
Oh God. Oh my God.
And when they say smock stained with blood, it's like on the shirt. So I'm like, does that mean it's the doctor that performed it? Or like, are you getting it done and then it like gets on your shirt? I don't know.
That makes my eye cavities hurt.
Yeah, I don't like that. No. So all of these ghosts, of course, and there's probably so many more in these other buildings that just aren't really...
Yeah, like you can't go in there. Yeah, they're just not being seen.
And just thinking about the cemetery, like I know that cemetery's haunted. Because also, I don't think you can really go in there. Like, I think it's probably blocked off because...
Yeah. I mean, it's private, obviously.
Yeah, so. It's private, so...
Yeah, that's crazy. And especially because, like, the point of at least burial in our culture is that, like, that's where you are laid to rest.
Yeah.
And in our culture tradition, you have a tombstone, so you know who is laid to rest there. And so the fact that these people were laid to rest, but you don't know who they are. It's just like, oh, there's 432 over there. Like, we don't know who that is. So, like, I presume at least that's why some of these people are not resting, you know, fully.
Yeah. Like
which is horrible.
All of the ghosts that I mentioned might be in that
cemetery. Literally. Insane.
Because also people would spend their whole lives here. After you get put into a mental institution, especially back in the 1930s,
no second
you're
chances.
there for life.
Yeah, no second chances, no getting out, no.
Even if you didn't actually have a mental illness.
Yeah. Quite literally, most people. Or it's just like your mental illness is like you have a little bit of anxiety.
Right. Yeah. Like, it's like that's everyone nowadays.
Like, wow. Oh, man. It would be a different world if the times were reversed today. It'd be crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much what I had for Eloise Asylum. I do want to mention there was a movie about this place.
Oh, is it called Eloise and she's in the hotel?
It's called Eloise and it's like they're at the asylum. And at the hotel. There is a second movie called Eloise where she's in the Plaza Hotel. That's a different Eloise.
That's Eloise too. No, I'm just kidding.
This one is from 2016
Oh.
And it's Eloise, and they're in the haunted asylum.
We should maybe watch that. Maybe the library has it.
Yeah, we should look that up. Honestly, we should.
I would love to see.
But anyway, that's Eloise Asylum. I did a deep dive on the history there, and
I enjoyed every minute of it, but, you know, I did hate some of it as well. You know, it's always a love-hate with these stories, but... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well...
Wow, that's crazy. I would love... If I'm ever in Michigan, I would love to go there, to that one building.
Yeah.
And I couldn't... You know, I may or may not have to just accidentally get lost. You didn't hear it from me. Anyway, moving on. I have... You know, it's something that we don't really cover much on this podcast, so I'm excited. I have for you The Curse of Brunswick Springs.
Oh,
Swings. I meant Springs.
Oh,
let me just rewind.
Okay.
The Curse of Brunswick Springs.
Oh, that's a curse.
Thanks, a curse. Yes, a curse. So let's buckle up for this story. It takes place in Vermont. A place I've always wanted to go. One of my favorite singers, Noah Kahan, is from there. So shout out, this story is for you, Noah Kahan. He's for sure listening to this podcast. Anyway.
Definitely.
Yes. So this story is actually considered to be one of Vermont's most intriguing legends because it blends Native American lore, supernatural events, and a series of unfortunate events not starring Neil Patrick Harris.
Okay. Not by Lemony Snicket.
Not by Lemony Snicket, no. Okay. Unfortunately not. But anyways, let's just get right on into the story. So Brunswick Springs is in Vermont, just like I said. Mm-hmm. And it is actually known because it has a very unique mineral composition within the spring water. And it's also known for the curse that is said to be on the land that the springs are on. So the springs themselves are cursed land. Right. So this string of misfortune, it began in 1894 when the newly expanded Brunswick Springs Hotel burned to the ground. Dun, dun, dun.
This is, okay. Mm-hmm. Connecting to my story, that is the same era of when the place started.
The craziest thing of all, guys, let me just go ahead and say this. This week, Savannah did tell me what story because she just wanted to make sure we hadn't covered it before. Yeah. Said, no, we haven't. But I was like, okay, this time I'm going to choose a story that's completely different from Savannah's and it's not going to have any similarities. Yeah. Well, too bad because we're here.
There's always something similar.
And there's more too. So, yep, it's wild. Okay. But anyway, yes, the hotel, which had just been built, burnt to the ground. And that is something that we are no stranger to here on this podcast. Mm-hmm. The fires will burn. In the past times, there were always fires. But this fire was only the beginning. The property's fate, it took a way darker turn in the early 1900s after a man named John Hutchins bought it, Mm-hmm. John, this man, he was super excited about his new hotel that he was going to build. You know, he was like, I'm going to get rich. Look at me. Whoop-de-doo. I would feel the same way if I had just bought that, Yeah. But as soon as he bought it, the bad luck that seemed to be going on with the property, it continued. John suffered a huge hotel fire, not once, not twice, but yes, 3 times. 3 times. And it gets even worse, actually. It's 3 years in a row that his hotel caught on fire and burned to the ground. So when he gets the hotel, it burns down. Almost immediately the first time. So then he rebuilds it. Obviously, he's like, okay, can't miss out on my money. He rebuilds it. And then it's standing and it's functioning and open for a year. And almost to the date, it burns down 1 year later. So then he's like, okay, 3rd time's a charm, let's build it one more time. He builds it, it burns down, and he's like, no, we got to build it one more time.
What?
Like, it's because it was the 4th one that had burnt down. So, yeah.
I literally would be like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, after the second one, it's over for me, fam. It's over. But,
wow.
Yeah, so years and years and years in a row, this hotel caught on fire and burned to the ground. So this, John, his very ambitious project officially fell victim fully to the flames in 1929. Crazy enough, Savannah, this man rebuilds the hotel 2 more times.
How does he have the money to rebuild it?
I mean, okay, so at this point, it's 1929. So there has been many years in between. So I guess he went off after, like, the 4th burning down of his hotel, went and, stacked up, and then came back in 1929 and was like, all right, round 5, guys.
Damn.
Yeah. So he rebuilt it in 1929. And in 1930, it burned down. And then after it burned down in 1930, he rebuilt it again. And in 1931, it burned down again. It sounds like I'm telling you a lie, but I promise this is the history. It's crazy.
Like, is this somebody just going and burning it down every time? Like, I don't get it.
Right. Well, no. I mean, obviously, there were investigations, arson investigations. Nothing was ever found. It's just natural fires. So, yeah. So, quite literally, in the entire history of this place will exist for 1 year, and then it will burn down every single time it's happened like that. Every time. Really, really, really fun fact. Okay?
Is it fun?
No, I haven't said the fun fact.
Okay.
No, the fires are not fun for sure. But what is fun is that Ripley's, believe it or not, calls Brunswick Swings. Why do I keep saying swings? Brunswick Springs, the 8th wonder of the world.
What?
Back in 1984.
No way.
And it's not actually because of the fires.
Oh, why?
If you remember, I very briefly mentioned at the beginning that Brunswick Springs is actually very well known for its special mineral composition that's in the springs.
Okay, I see.
Yep, and apparently it has this extremely rare mineral, mineral combo. It's not like one mineral that's special. It's like the combo there is special, and so if somebody might know more than me, maybe you'll know why this combo is special. But here's the special combo: we have iron, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, bromide, and arsenic all in this spring. So apparently that combination is like super rare and super good. So, yeah. And this rare occurrence is what got this place into Ripley's, believe it or not.
All of that sounded good except for the arsenic.
Right. But, like, I don't know, like, how much, like, is it a little bit of arsenic?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, is a little bit of arsenic okay?
Right. I don't know. I don't know. And, okay, so before I even say this next thing, I just have to big preface. This is literally my idea. Okay? I said nothing. I found nothing about this anywhere. This is Taylor's thoughts. Okay? There's no evidence. But do we, as Mystery, Myths, and Legends, think that these minerals maybe could be the issue with the fire?
But how?
Listen, I'm saying, science, I'm not.
Because
science, math, don't. I'm just saying, could it be? They're natural gases. And I'm like, gas causes fire. So, like, is it that hard to assume that maybe that could have something to do with it? Again, there's not. But
it's the sulfur.
Right, maybe. Eggs. That's what it smells like.
Well, because that's flammable, right? Sulfur.
I don't know about that. But that, again, that's just my theory. But there is an actual real theory that we will get into. Yeah, but I just had to mention that because I feel like I didn't see it anywhere. And maybe it's because those minerals, like, don't cause fires or anything like that. And maybe it was already just disproven. But I'm just like, I don't know.
Right.
Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
Honestly, yeah. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe. But
maybe, okay, actually, though.
Oh. Theory time.
It's a mixture of the gases, yes, but also people back in the day would smoke a lot more, so there's more flames around.
That's
so it's like,
true.
Okay, someone's like lighting up their cigarette, and then
the gas,
and then it just lights the whole place on fire.
See, that's what I mean. I'm not necessarily saying like the gas is going in and just catching on fire, but like the gas could be there and then
that definitely
spark.
Yeah,
but we'll see how you feel when I finish this story about what actually is the cause. I just had to mention, like, maybe, possibly, it could be a scientific explanation. Yeah. Maybe.
Because it is weird that it's happening every year.
Yes.
So that's the weird part.
It is. It is. But anyway, moving along, Brunswick Springs is located well off of the main road in Brunswick, Vermont.
Okay.
And there are approximately 100 residents that lives there. So it's like tiny, tiny, tiny.
Mm-hmm.
There are 6 individual springs, and each of those 6 springs have those special minerals in them that I mentioned.
Okay.
And each of those 6 springs all flow into the Connecticut River, which is about 65 feet below the springs. So it's not like too far from the river. And before I even move on, another Taylor theory is, I mean, we always are constantly hearing about all these weird legends and stuff happening near water, and the fact that this have magical minerals and it's water and it leads into it. I'm just saying, maybe things aren't always a coincidence, okay? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But needless to say, people in the town and around in surrounding areas, they totally believe that this land is cursed, and that's why they believe that the hotels keep burning down every year. But where did the curse come from? Has to come from somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well. The story of the curse begins.
Okay.
All the way back in 1748.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. When the Abenaki tribe lived in and around the springs. And this tribe, they actually relied heavily on the natural healing powers of the water.
Mm-hmm.
So because of the minerals, they claim that it helped people heal from many different ailments or whatever. One time, a soldier who was wounded in the French and Indian War, him and his companions, his companions carried him actually to these springs because he was so injured from the war, because they had heard that that's where he could be healed, and I guess this guy was like super bad off, so they were like, I mean, we should just try. So they did. The legend goes that they brought him in and they put his entire body into the spring and then let him sit there for like 10, 15 and just in the water, and then when they removed him, he was fully healed per the legend.
Okay.
Yes. And
that doesn't sound like a curse.
Well, I haven't got to the curse part.
I
haven't got to the curse part yet. So, so this is crazy. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The way I wrote that, I'm just like, Taylor, can I spell? I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the source that this story is coming from is a semi-reliable source, actually. It's not just like, the locals say, this random person says.
Yeah.
The source is actually the daughter of one of the previous hotel owners that fell victim to the fire as well. Okay. So, and she was like witnessing this soldier action. Okay. The soldier who was healed in the water is said to have actually returned to the springs after he was like healed, like a couple months later, I'm assuming, because he wanted to bottle and sell the spring water.
See, listen, people always gotta be greedy.
Greed.
Just take your blessing of
you were literally healed. That's enough. You could have been dead. Like,
literally. Okay, listen. Why is it reminding me of the movie Death of a Unicorn?
100%. 100%.
Oh my gosh.
100%. Such a good movie. Go see it. And so obviously, the Abenaki tribe was like, dude, absolutely, you're not bottling and selling that water.
Yeah, no.
Idiot. That's not what they said. That's Taylor's words. They said their words, they were like, this is natural. It comes from the earth and it needs to be left there because so that everybody and anyone can use it who come around it. And that is not supposed to be sold from jars because it literally comes from the earth, which I completely agree with. And so, they're kind of saying with it is that it comes from the land. You have to leave it with the land. So, I agree.
Yeah.
Follow that. Everyone, follow that in every meaning of the word. But unfortunately, this man, he did not take this rejection very well. And him and the Abenaki tribe leader got into an argument, and this kind of started a whole fight in between, the two different groups of people, and a main Abenaki leader and a baby were killed in the fight.
What? Why a baby?
There was a lot. I mean, there was just a lot of people around, and then like everybody just started fighting, and it just.
Oh my God.
It was horrible, yeah. And then a lot of other people were injured, but you know, the Abenaki man and the baby, who was also part of the tribe, was killed. Mm-hmm. And so the mother of the child, who was tragically killed, is said to have cursed the land and the springs. After this happened, it's always said that anyone who tried to profit off the springs would fail. Because she was like, okay, this man, he wanted to profit so bad off this spring water that he killed my baby. Mm-hmm. So now no one will profit off of this land. And I honestly, listen, I feel like I don't know if I believe most curses, but if I was to believe one, I would believe this one.
Yeah.
Because like a mother's love is so real, so serious. And if a curse can be done, I believe that she would have done it. Because if I was in her shoes, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, no, I do agree.
I sure would have. But an opposing view, I suppose, a member who is on the Brunswick Town Board named Brendan Whitaker, he says that it could be a curse, sure, or it could be someone with a grudge or just accidents.
So they're just saying somebody's burning this hotel down every time.
Right. And you did say that at the beginning. Yeah. But do you think somebody has burnt the hotel down every single year since like the 1800s until literally like now? Because like maybe some of the fires could have been arson, but I think in no way all of them could have been.
It's like
arson.
A family tradition that's been passed down.
Right. You're like, okay, it's the year anniversary. Let's go. Let's go, fam. Let's get our torches.
Son, it's your first
it's your first hotel burn.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. Like, I mean, sure, maybe I guess that's possible, but also I feel like secrets don't really stay secret. You know, I feel like we would have heard something about this if that was. Or like, is there anybody who even has a grudge enough?
I know, yeah. Like,
is there any evidence of anyone having a grudge?
Because that's like a lot to burn down a hotel every year. Like,
and it's never been the same owners either. So it's not like, oh, you can't say like they have a grudge on like the owner of the hotel because there's been through multiple different hands.
Well, unless it's the tribe.
Unless it's the tribe. But
we don't want to blame them because I don't think they're actually doing it.
I surely do not think
that would be the only one that makes sense.
Right, and that's fair. That is definitely fair. But in the same regard, if it was the tribe burning down the hotels, I think that there would still be evidence of arson, which we are not finding at these hotels. Yeah. So either they're good, or it's not arson. So who is really to say? Okay, so this is a kind of like a side tangent also, okay? It's just something I found and I just like had to mention it. It's not really, it is with the springs, but it's also not with the springs. So just.
Let's get into it.
Tangent aside. It is said that the first house was built on the hill above the springs in 1832. So like before 1832 it was only the springs. There wasn't really like houses and people living there. But in 1832, that was when the first house was built. Mm-hmm. And the first hotel that was built there, it was called the Brunswick Spring House, and it opened in 1860. So an early hotel brochure says, and I quote, "Medicine waters of the Great Spirit." And this hotel actually stayed in business for several years without burning down. This is the original hotel.
Okay.
And so
I don't know what to think of that because doesn't that sound like you're selling come to this hotel for the springs,
for the
and
medicine.
Then that's like literally what you said the curse was to what was it to not make a profit off of it, and it sounds like that phrasing is like, okay, you're making a profit.
No, you're so right. But I think the way that they were trying to go for it is like, yes, they're still trying to make a profit off of it, but they're more or less giving the people the opportunity to come and experiencing it. But like, you just can't bottle it and take it home.
Right.
Because, like, I feel like there's kind of no way to not be selfish because it is theirs. But if they were like, yeah, anybody come take it, then it would all be gone. You know, like they have to. It's kind of almost like they have to profit in some way to protect it.
The way to not profit off of it would just to keep it secret. Not have a hotel there.
Oh well. True.
I think that's why it keeps getting burned down, because they're like, we don't want you to have a hotel here.
Okay. No, okay. I see that.
But
I see that. Okay. I keep losing my spot. Okay. Anyway, also from this location, you are able to see Silver Lake. Okay. This lake is super famous. Now I'm telling you, this is the tangent. Okay. This lake is super famous because people see a ghost out on this lake.
Oh, okay.
And this is our second Halloween costume of the year.
Okay.
This would be the ghost of the sorceress.
The sorceress.
Girl, come on. Wait, what was the other one? The sorceress and white.
I know.
The white. Pull back up. No, I know what it is. Dang it, I forgot.
The white vapor.
The white vapor and the sorceress. Guys, come on.
How are we even going to do that?
I don't know, but I'm just saying that sounds so fire.
The sorcerer and the white. The sorceress?
The sorceress and the white vapor. Yeah, I feel like we would solve some crime. We would defend, get the bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I love it. But I couldn't really find much of a story of the ghost of the sorceress. I just think that she just kind of looks witchy, and she is seen on the lake. So
yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I just had to mention that because I just thought that was really cool, and that's in the same proximity.
That is crazy. Yeah, there's like two different paranormal things so close to each other.
Yeah, just weird stuff going on here, for real. Yes, but today there is not really much left of Brunswick Springs Hotel, as you can probably imagine.
Yeah.
Other than the cement foundation and the stairs.
Okay.
And there is like one set of stairs that lead down to the cellar, which is still there, even though it's all kind of like crumbled. It's not like nice, like you can like go into the cellar and like it's nice. But yeah, this place is still frequented and honored by the Abenaki people, and they will go and they'll leave their tokens of their appreciation at this spot that is so sacred to them. And as for the future of this place, I am so happy, actually, to finally say that the Abenaki people own this land today.
Okay, good.
Yes.
It was given back to them.
Yes. So many people have tried to buy it and build it up, as I'm sure you can imagine everybody tries to do. But the government and the Abenaki people will not let that happen, as they should. So it will never see development, which I really love. And of course, I have to say there is no scientific proof of the healing power of the water in the springs, but I do have to say I have been in some magical springs once in my life that was also said to have a very specific mineral composition.
Yeah.
And I have never felt more healed than when I came out of that natural springs. So all I have to say is I feel like they can heal. So
I feel like I need to go to some springs.
I'm saying, same. I need to go back. It's been way too long. But yeah, that is the curse of Brunswick Springs.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, a valid curse.
Yeah.
As it should. As it should be.
For real. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Crazy. I love our Halloween ideas, the sorceress and
I know.
The white vapor.
I'm thinking of like the costumes that it could be. Like.
Right. I see these characters in my head and I want to draw them.
Okay. Yeah, we can like do our both of our images and see if they fit together.
Yeah. Have to.
Yeah, but that curse, wow.
Oh, crazy. I know. I don't necessarily know what pictures we're going to post, but I'm sure there will be some of at least the springs. So definitely be sure to check out our Instagram to see pictures from our stories this week. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit up our TikTok and our YouTube.
Yes, please.
And if you're listening, keep listening. But you know what's more fun? Watching the videos.
Yeah, watching the videos. And I have been trying to... I I've been trying to add some pictures into the video as well. I'm not going to promise that they're there, but...
She's saying maybe even less work for you if you watch the video. You don't have to go to our Instagram. You can just see the pictures.
Yeah, so...
Go check it out if you want to know.
I've been trying to become an editor a little bit, so, you know.
And I haven't even talked to Savannah about this, but I'm feeling the need of a trip coming up where we have to vlog something.
Oh, I know.
I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm saying this on here to also hold us accountable for doing that. So,
yeah.
I guess we'll see what's to come for the rest of 2025. As it is now, halfway over.
I know.
That's crazy.
Wild.
Oh, God, that's crazy. And then one more thing just to blow your mind. I saw that we are currently in the middle of the we are in the middle of the decade.
Oh.
We're in the middle of the year. We're in the middle of it was just like a really internal, like really deep. And it's just crazy. What a time to be alive, right?
Crazy.
Well, me and Savannah are going to go see a movie right now.
Yeah, we are.
Update you next week on that.
We made it just in time. I've been looking at the clock.
Me too.
Like, okay, we got 30 minutes though.
We're so excited. We're going to make it perfectly on time. And we will update you guys next week. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
But other than that, that is all I have for you guys this week. What about you, Savannah?
That's it.
Okay, well then I guess we will see you guys next week.
Okay, cue the music.